edition. We're here at the Teasdale Newman Visitor Center in Sumai, joined by Dr. Kimberly Keeling, the Executive Director of the Guam Humanities Council, and Dr. Tina Delgado, the curator for this exhibit here today. Thank you both for joining us, ladies.
Thank you.
So please tell us about the exhibit we have here today, and what can the community expect by taking a view of the show of work?
Okay, well, there's actually two exhibitions here. There is the national exhibit that we brought via our partnership with the Smithsonian Institution Museum on Main Street program. And this really tells the national story of Between Fences. So that is the national focus. And then we also have a companion exhibit which is Guam focused. And the title for that exhibit is Ikelat, the Fence, Historical Perspectives of Guam's Changing Landscape.
What did it take to bring this national exhibit out to the island?
We've had a partnership with the Smithsonian Institution since 2007, where they bring out or they develop these exhibitions for the local community, for communities that are small, that normally would not have access to Smithsonian quality exhibitions, which thus the name Museum on Main Street. It's bringing it out to small towns and communities. So we've had the partnership for the past 5 years, and this is our third tour with the Smithsonian. We brought out two exhibitions earlier, one in 2007, New Harmonies, and one in 2009 through 2010, Key Ingredients, America by Food.
All right, Dr. Delgado, tell us about what efforts it took to put together the local exhibit that we have here.
Well, it required a lot of historical archival work and research to basically look at not a history of fences per se, but to really examine the political, cultural, social relations between people in Guam. Chamorro's really, the exhibit did focus on Chamorro perspectives, historical perspectives, to look at those kind of relations, to look at relations between Chamorros and fences, but also how that played out in terms of relations between Chamorros and others, Americans, Micronesians.
Okay. Now, what are some of the interesting facts that people will be able to learn by visiting this?
Well, in terms of the national exhibit, we had many questions like, oh, Between Fences, what is that about? It's a pretty abstract topic and theme. So really what it explores, it not only talks about the physical fence itself and the different kinds of physical fences that we've had in the history of our country, but also the metaphorical and symbolic value of fencing. So it's about land, private property, industry, notions of security, agriculture. So it's really looking at, both the physical, but also focusing on the metaphorical and the symbolic, and what it's really, fences really says about us as people, us as a community, and the U.S. as a nation, and our relationships with other nations, such as Mexico and Canada.
Things that they'll learn from the local museum?
Yes, absolutely.
Such as?
Well, one of the things that we did with the local exhibit was to break it down, well, to take you from iconic, tangible, physical fences that we know here in Guam. One of them would be, for example, the military fences, right? It's everywhere. But the exhibit also takes us through, as Dr. Keeling had mentioned, these intangible, metaphorical fences, if we want to call them metaphorical fences. These are fences you can take race or ethnicity, language. These can be understood as virtual fences in the way that they prevent access to certain things in society, right? Based on perhaps your skin color or even your gender. So we went from the iconic fences, prisons and school fences, for example, again, the military fences, cemetery fences, and as you tour the exhibit, toward the end, you begin to look at these more intangible or unexpected fences, right? People coming together, for example, who you might not ordinarily understand as coming together or affiliating with for a particular cause. That might be religion or the environment coming together. In the last component of the exhibit, we talk about Paget, how people, how those who wanted to save Paget came together from all walks of life, whether you were Chamorro, Filipino, Micronesian, mother, grandmother, lawyer, and then on the other side, looking at the military and civilian people who came together to actually talk about some of the positive, what they felt were the positive aspects of the buildup and the possibilities of what would happen if the military were to use, or the Marines were to use POGIT, right? So both sides of the fence, so to speak, yeah.
Definitely it's the topic that everyone finds of interest, especially with the discussion with the military buildup. Ladies, thank you both so much for your time. Final words to invite the community out to check out the exhibit.
Well, not only do we actually have the exhibit here, the physical component of it, but we also have a series of programming events that really relate to and expand on the exhibit. So Monday, April 2nd in the evening, Dr. Delisle will be giving a lecture about the exhibit and curating it and looking at larger issues of fencing on Guam. And that will be here at the T. Newman Visitor Center at 6 p.m.
Dr. Delisle, invite everyone else. How long will this exhibit be available?
Well, this one will be up for 6 weeks, and then it will actually rotate to other venues on the island. I did want to also add that what's also fascinating about the local exhibit is that we've got artifacts and authentic objects that are on display, in which people from around the island were very generous and loaning for the exhibit. So, for example, the artifacts from POGIT, the old carpentry tools that were donated from Jack Lujan, things that you don't see anymore. So yeah, that's another reason to come out and read the history, but also look at the actual objects that tell that history.
All right, yeah. Definitely something that everyone should come and check out.
Yes.
That's here at the T. Newman Visitors Center in Sumai.